Very good. Repeat. You are today you are learning a new different topic, memory management. By using the memory management, we can execute concurrent programs. So that is programs. So more than one program should be executed. More than one program. Normally, what is the process of the execution of the program? That means you are writing the program. So once you are writing the program, the processor accepts that program. You are writing the program into the RAM, that is called as the random access memory. Okay, so from the RAM, processor accept the instructions one by one, and it can be executed. So that's why what I'm saying is that whenever you are writing the program or any program, whatever it may be the language, any program, that program is first writing into the RAM. So once you are writing the program into the RAM, the processor, the CPU, central processing unit, can access the program one by one. So program is nothing but set of instruction. So it can execute one instruction by one, one by one. So then taking the data from the memory, processing, okay, after processing, it will send to the output. This is the normal programming. Suppose one program can be loaded into the memory RAM, right? Suppose I want to run the two programs, then I can use two memory spaces. This is the first memory and second memory, first program memory space and second memory program space. But I want to run concurrently. This is called multiprocessing. This is called as a multi. So I will give one example to all of you for the multiprocessing. Suppose recently one incident takes place in the Srisailam project. Srisailam project. That means there is a fire explosion takes place in the hydro power generation. So that means there you can perform the multiple tasks. One task is you should continuously monitor the temperature. Another task is to find out what is the power generation. And next one, third task is how the input flow is there. So that means these are all the different tasks are there. So a task can be concurrently, it can be executed simultaneously. Why? Because what is the temperature of the generation of the product, power? What is the inflow of the water? And how much power is generated? So this is all the multiple tasks. So these tasks are completely executed at a time. This is called as a parallel processing. This is called as a parallel processing, or this is also called as a multiprocessing. So for the multiprocessing, suppose there are n tasks are there, for each and every task it requires one memory. But if I am allocating the memory independently, then it will take a lot of time, a lot of memory space. Sometimes it may be full. Instead of that, by using the memory management, we are using less memory space and perform more tasks. That process is called as that with the help of the memory management, we are performing the multitasking, multiprocessing. So multiple processing can be executed simultaneously. Another example is you are doing that, you are hearing one music and you are typing and you are chatting with your friend in the WhatsApp group. And next one, you are listening online class simultaneously. So that means, so this is the practically doing. So that means some people are making a call. All are performing at a time. This is called as a multiprocessing. This is called as a multiprocessing. So, but how the multiprocessing should be takes place simultaneously with the help of memory management. So I repeat, what is the memory management? For the execution of the multiprocessing, efficient way of utilization of the single memory in multiple ways. So that is another task, but now I'm not discussing about the whole task, but the memory management is a very important concept. But performing the multiple tasks. or multi-processing. Okay, so that means parallelly more than one program is executed simultaneously. This is called as a multi-processing. Okay, so in that process, so one of the method is the multi threads. It is a thread. So in the next I want to discuss about the multi-thread. Okay, so first I want to discuss about the threads. A thread is nothing but it can perform more than one thing at a time. So that's here giving the definition. Thread allows a program to operate more efficiently by doing multiple things at the same time. I repeat, what is a thread? Thread allows a program to operate more efficiently by doing multiple things at the same time. Okay, I am saying that multitask or multi-person. Okay, right. So what is important? Threads can be used to perform complicated tasks in the background without interrupting the main program. So that means concurrently, more programs are executed without disturbing the others. It's called as a thread. Okay, this is called as a thread. So I repeat, thread stands for more than one things are executed simultaneously. Okay, right. So simple definition, what is the simple definition? More than one thing can be performed at a time or same time. It's called as a threading. So first you can understand the threading, then you can understand the multi-threading. Okay, right. So first, how to create a thread? How to create a thread? So there are two ways to create a thread. One is by extending, second one is a implementing. Okay, extends and runnable. So extends stands for class to class. Implements stands for interface to class. Interface to class. Okay, right. So first one, creating the method. So first one is called as a extend syntax. Extend syntax. So that means the two are, so there are two classes are there. One is the thread class, another is the my main class. Okay, so that means I can use the thread class. I can use the thread class. Okay, and overriding is on run method. So this is called as a creating a thread. So in the creating thread, there is a extending. Extending stands for two classes are there. One is my class, that is a user class, and second one is the already thread class is there. Thread class is there. So this is the inbuilt. So now I can extend the thread class to my present class and overriding. So that is a overriding. So in the overriding, what is the meaning of the overriding? A method is overriding at the runtime. That is called as a dynamic polymorphism. Dynamic polymorphism. Okay, and the binding is the dynamic because this is the overriding the method. So overriding method is example of dynamic polymorphism or dynamic binding. Okay, all right. So that means I can use the thread class by extending from my class, and I can use the start method. So let us take this is called as a example, extending method. So let us take this is called as a, after that you can, observing the example, you can clearly understand the concept. So let us take this is called as a, my class name is my class. So extends from where? Thread class. Thread class is already inbuilt class. And overriding is run method. So this is called as a public void run. Public void run. So this is a system.out. This is the public void run. So that means the run method in the class can be overwriting in the thread run method. Okay, right. Second one is the runnable interface. Runnable interface. So runnable stands for, it is a runnable is an interface and my class is a class. So that means a interface to class is implements. So let us take what is my class name. This is my class. This is my class and implements to runnable. Runnable is a interface. So then this is called as a, and it should be implemented by run method. Right. Okay, so then now you will get some confusion what it is. By observing the program, you can understand easily. So let us take running the thread. Suppose the example. Okay, so how to create a thread? There are two methods are there. Number one, this is called the extending the thread, created by extending the thread class and overriding its run method. Overriding in the run method. So this is the creating of the thread. Okay, right. Second one, runnable interface. So that means a runnable interface. It is an interface. What is the interface? The name is runnable interface. And what is the class? The class is implemented through the runnable interface. So what is the difference? There, overriding the method takes place in the extending. But here what object is created, that object can access the constructor of the runnable method. Okay, so you are not understanding clearly right now. By observing the example, you will clearly understand. So let us take now. First, how to running the threads. So the first step is you should create a thread. Then next step is running the thread. So thread stands for more than one program should be executed. Okay, all right. So first, what is the method I want to create? How many methods I want to, how many threads, method to create a threads? There are two ways. One is extending the thread class. Second one is implement the runnable interface. Implement the runnable interface. So now, what are the steps to execute a program? So let us take, I am using how many methods? Two methods. One is extending method. The first is, if the class extend the thread class, the thread can run creating an instance of the class that is extends and call its start method. So this is called the start method. Okay. So let us take, what is the running the thread by using extending method? So let us take, first you can extend the thread class, first point. Second point, when the class is creating, then what happened? It called the start method by overwriting method, by overwriting the start method. Okay, all right. So let us take, this is the first one. Please see this. So first, I want to extend. So let us take, I want to extend. So public class, the class name is my class, and it will extend to what? Because I want to create a thread class. I want to create a thread. So that's why I can call the thread class. So that's why this is the thread. So what is the meaning of the extend? Extend means inheritance. So parent to child. What is the parent? Thread. What is the child? My class. Okay, right. So now let us take, this is the main method. This is the main method, public static void main string aux. So what I'm saying that I want to create object. This is why, because method is a public. Once it is method is a public, you should access the main parent class method by using using objects. Object must and should be created. If it is static, don't create a, not necessary to creating a object, and you can directly access the methods. So, but here, this is the public. So now I am creating one object. Okay, don't confuse. This is the thread class. Capital T is the thread class, but this is the variable. So don't, there is no link between the thread and thread. This is the object name. This is the object name. Okay, all right. Thread. So then thread dot start. This is called as a thread dot start. This is the objection created, and this is called a thread dot start. So that's he's saying that first extend the class. So this is called extend the class. The thread can be run by creating an instance of the class. So this is the extended creating the class, and it called the start method. So that's why thread dot start. Okay, thread dot start. So starting is a one method. I can explain later what happens inside the start. So now it can give that once a start is created, and then the system.out println this is code is outside the method. So this code is outside the thread. All right. So let us take, what I'm saying is that the two things are there. There are two things are there. This is the first thing and this is the second thing. Okay, this is the first thing and this is the second thing. So let us take, this is the first thing and this is called the first thing and this is called the second thing. So two things are there. Two things are executed parallelly. So by using the thread method and using the extend class. Okay, so how many things are there? Two things are there. So 1 and 2. So once they are executed, they will give the output and pattern. Okay, so let us take, this is called as a, I repeat, how to create a thread by using the class extends thread. Second one, this is the main method. And this is called, I am creating a instance of the class. This is the object creation. So object creation, then it can call the start method. The start method from thread class. Okay, class method from thread class. Okay, right. So let us take what is this. This is a executing output one. So system.out println, this is coding. So start method. And next one, this is the another thing, you can get this value. So two things are running parallelly. So then you will get the answer right now. So this is called as outside the thread and this code is running in a thread. So because this is the one start method and this is the another one, these two are running parallelly, but you are getting that. So this is the running method and this is the outside thread. Right. Next one. Suppose the thread can be implemented by using the implement runnable interface. So that means runnable is an interface and my class is the one class is the my class. So the thread can be run by passing the instance of class to thread object. So thread object and object constructor. So that's why constructor is there. Then constructor can start the start method. Okay. Then calling the start method. So let us take, I want to discuss about this. Let us take what is the interface? Runnable. It is inbuilt. And my class is implemented runnable. Okay. So now this is the main method. I am creating the object. Okay. Once an object is created, then what happens? The object thread is created. Object thread is created and then can start the start. So that's why once the thread is a object, then once object is created, then there is a constructor, then that constructor start the program. So that means the start. Okay. So can you please observe the two things? First one, what happens in the at the initial stage, you are not supposed to understand, just try to understand that. In the class extends, an instance of class is created and by using then this class, okay, instance class, and call the start method and call the thread start method. So here there is no objection and constructor is created here because the class to class. But now second one is as per normal principle, interface is one type of method and class. So that's why there is a implement. So that's why what happened, this is the instance of the class and a object is created. This object can call the thread start. But in the previous one, the class can directly call the thread start. But here what happened, this object creates the constructor. The constructor calls the thread start. Okay, so that means the thread extend the class and implement the interface. In the extend class, a class is created directly called the thread class, thread start. But here what happens in the runnable interface, an object is created. That object creates call the constructor. Constructor call the thread start. Constructor call the thread start. So this is the difference between the creating of the thread by using the extend method, by using the runnable interface. Okay, right. But both are implemented. Both can implement, no problem. So one is directly call the thread start. Second method, directly creating an object. That object called the constructor. That constructor called the thread start. Okay, right. Right. What is the drawback? What is the drawback? In the extend class method, no extension of the can be possible because already my class extends the thread. My class extends the thread. So then there is no further threading. There is no further extension. But here, a thread runnable is an interface. Interface calls the, implements the class, and class may be further extends. But in previous, directly, a class is directly extend the thread class, but there is no further creation. But here what happens? A class implements the interface, then that interface may be extended or the class may be extended. So that means the extension is possible in the runnable interface, but the extend class, there is no further extension. All right. So now, next is the concurrency problems. All right. So just recollect the information. Thread can perform more than one things simultaneously. Okay. But to creating a thread, how many methods are, how many ways are there? There are two ways are there. One is class extends the thread class. Second is the thread class implements the thread interface. Thread interface. So by using the interface, by using the thread class. Okay. What happens? In the extend class, directly call the thread class. And it can implement the thread start. So extend the thread class, directly execute the thread start, that is called as a start method, thread start method. Directly calls the thread start method. But here, an object is created, and this object called the constructor. That constructor called the thread start. So calling the thread start ways is different. Whether a class directly call the thread start. Second one, a class create the object. Object call the constructor. Constructor call the thread start. So that means there is length is more instead of directly. But there is a problem is that in the extended class, no further extension takes place. Okay, why? Because class already threaded, calling the thread class, yes. But here what happens, it is a interface. So class interface the method, but the class should be extended. What is the concurrency problem? Suppose what I'm saying, what is the basic definition of the threading? Threading can execute more than one thing. But both programs is executed on the same attributes. On the same attributes. Then which attribute is executed first? I get some confusion. I repeat. Two things are there, two programs are there. The two programs or the two things can be accept using the same attributes. Same attributes. But they are running concurrently. So at that time. But the output, which output belongs to which thing? I will get some confusion. I repeat, two things are there. The two things access the same attributes. Same attributes. So they are executed at a time. but output, which output belongs to which thing? I will get some confusion. Because of the same attributes are used by more than one things. So attributes are same in all the programs, then there will get some concurrency problem. How? Let us take, I can show you. Right. So now first I want to give some information. So this is called my class. So this is the class. So because I am using the threading, so extend the thread class. So once you understand the extent, then class to class is takes place. Right. So what is in that? Suppose public static integer. What is the attribute of the my class? This is called as a public static integer. Amount is equal to 0. Attribute is equal to amount. Okay, and it is an integer. And next, I am create. This is the main method. In the main method, I want to create the thread. So that's why what happened? The instances takes place. My class thread is a new class. Then I can call the start method. So that's why this is called thread.start. Okay, right. Already I mentioned that. Extend the class, extend the thread class, and then directly call the thread start. So this is the start. So that means thread is starting. Okay, now the system.out.println amount. So now you are getting the amount is equal to 0. Okay, so up to this point amount is equal to 0. Then you are performing amount plus plus. This is the post increment. So store and implement. Store and implement. That indicates you want to get output is equal to 1. Okay. Now, so let us take what is the another thing. This is the one thing. And what is the another thing? Public void run amount plus plus. Amount plus plus. So what I require, so here I am not printing. If I am not printing at the second thing, then what you want to get in the first thing, one is the 0 and the next one is 1. Because the first amount is equal to 0 and the plus, you are using the plus plus, then you are getting the 1. Store and increment, okay. Okay. Now, then the second thing is there, amount plus plus. Oh, so here what I'm saying, what is the attribute? Amount, amount, amount. So in the both things having the same attribute. Now what you are expecting, because in the second thing, I'm not printing anything. So then it is not supposed to print. But I want to get only these two prints should be available. What you are expecting, so in the first one, you are getting the 0 and the second one, you are getting the 1. But here it is implemented, but not to getting the output. So you want to output the 0 and 1. See this, what is output? Output is 0 and 2. Output is 0 and 2. Why? Why? So now, which program comes first? And what is the output corresponding that output? You will get some confusion. So why? Because two things are parallel executing at a time. So then, so according to that, what is output? So actually you are expecting 0 and 1. But what you are getting? 0 and 2. Because you are not printing here. So this is the first step and this is the second step and this is the third step. As per procedure, but this is the another one and this is the first I want to perform this. So that's I'm saying that in the thread point of view, which thing can process first? It's a parallel. So then you are getting the answer of 2, but I'm not saying that it is not executable. So why? Because first one 0 is right. Second one amount plus plus, that means 1. But what happened? Within this, what happened? This second thing is executed 1. So 1 is implemented 2. So that's why you are getting the 2. So that means which can come first? That is a confusion. This confusion creates because of the same attribute using the two things. In the two things. Okay. So this problem is called as a concurrency problem. So concurrent program. So this is called as a concurrency problems. What is the concurrency problem? in a threading, all the things access the same attributes. First point. Second point, the things are running parallelly. Third point, which can be executed first and which can be executed second. There is no clarity. So that's why they are mixing the attributes and getting the unrequired output. Unrequired output. This is called as a concurrency problem. So how to avoid the concurrency problem? How to avoid the concurrency problem? So I hope you are understanding clearly. So one method is the is alive. Is the thread is alive. Is the process is alive. That means suppose after, so if the first thing is alive, then wait for the second thing. Then wait for the second thing. So by this way, suppose as this alive, that is first thing is alive, then the second thing can be wait. Okay. So here he is clearly giving that. To avoid the concurrence problem, it is better to share as a few attributes between the threads is possible. If attributes need to be shared, one possible solution use the is alive method to the thread to check whether the thread has finished the running before using any attributes. So if you are using the is alive method, that means whether the present is alive. So it is executing or not. If it is executing, then go for next one. If it is executing, it is running, then what happens? Wait, wait, wait. By this way, the concurrency problem should be avoided. This problem is created only because of the same attributes in all the things. So if the same attributes are eligible, this problem should be created. Okay, I will explain one thing. I think recently in the Uttar Pradesh, one teacher, one government teacher working in 7 schools, more than one school. So it's 7 schools. She's drawing the salary of 17 lakhs per month. As per government norms, one teacher gets the maximum of the 50 to 60,000. But she's drawing 17 lakhs. That means same teacher, that is attributed to the teacher, she's working in different schools parallelly, concurrently. So this is the example of the concurrently. So that's why then the government can put an inquiry and file a case on the teacher and to retrieve the amount of the government. So that means whether she is running. So that means once we enter into the school, then the method is there whether he is running or not. If it is not running, then he can stay in the same school. Okay, the same implementation is there. So attributes are same, but different things are there. So concurrently, at a time, concurrently. So once it is concurrently, then what happens? There is some confusion. So which come first? Which come? Because same attributes. And next thing, see this. Yeah, you are saying that public. You are saying that public. That variable is a public. So that means it can be implemented to any other one. So that means it may be accessed by all the class, outside the class, outside the thing, outside the method, everything. So that's the problem created. Right. So now how to avoid this concurrent problem? Because of is alive method in the thread. So how? Let us take. Already I am using the previous program. So first one, this is called class name is my class, extend to thread class. So that means thread is created. But how the thread is created? Only when the thread start will be started. So let's try what is the attribute 0. Very good. And amount is 0. So now this is the main method. Then what is the procedure as per procedure for the thread class? So my class thread is equal to new class. So this is the, then it can call the thread start. It can call the thread start. Now let us take while thread dot is alive, thread dot is alive. That means if it is the first thing is running, then it will print system waiting. Okay. So now let us take this in the main amount plus plus, and next one I want to implement plus one. So that means as long as this thread is running alive, then it should be executed. This should be executed. After that, it should go on. But here, there is no printing here. There is no printing. So that's why I will get some clear idea. First, I want to get 0 and 1. Second, if it is implemented the second one, then I want to go for another one. So that's why while this is running, whether it is running or not, I don't think so. First, I want to say that it is running order. While it is running, it will give the project running. It is alive. This method is live. Okay, right. So let us take whether it is running. So in previous, what happened? Both are combined. But now what happened? Whether I am going to the first thing, then it is alive or not. So it is alive. While it is alive, then it is executed. After it is executed, then go for next one. Okay. So that's why this is the amount. So now can you please check what is the answer? So what you are getting answer. So first print, I want to main the amount. Amount is equal to 0. Amount plus plus, that means it is a 1. And now system.1, this is the amount. Okay. So now accept. Yes. Okay. Yes. So let us take why I am not getting the 2. Because it is also executed, but I am not giving the output. I am not supposed to ask the print. It is executed, but there is no output. But in previous, same program will give the 2. So now what happened? Both things are running parallelly, and amount variable is a public. So that should be executed, and that should be implemented to the another thing. So then you will get the answer. But here what happened? 1 is alive. So that is the present thing is executed or not? Yes, executed. While it is executed, then what happened? While it is running, then it should be performed first. Whatever it may be, second one. Whatever, that is executed, no problem. But that attributes not are accepted here. Okay. So then you are getting the output answer. So this is called waiting. So while the alive, then you will get a waiting, and first it can perform, and next it will perform. Okay, right. So this is the some information to resolve the concurrency problem. To resolve the concurrency problem. Okay. So this is a brief introduction about the threads. Okay. So next, this one. So next is the multi-threading. So before going to about the this is the multi-threading. Yes. Yes. But I'm saying in the previous one, multitasking and multi-threading and multi-processing. So I can discuss in the next class about that. This is called as a multi-thread. So what is a multi-thread? Multi-mode. So this is called as a process. This is called as a process. So process 1, process 2, process 3. So multi-process are there. So process contains threads. That threads may be contains more than one thread. So let us T1 is the thread. So it is only one thread is there. So in the process 2, 2 threads are there. In the process 1, 3 threads are there. So here I want to process more than more process at a time. This is called as a multi-threading. So operating system can perform all these things by using the memory management. Okay. In the next class, I want to discuss about the multi-threading. Okay. So thank you, and please prepare for the next class.